All right, well, let's talk a little bit about how to register yourself. Ms. Pedroni mentioned about registering and all that. Well, registering with us, we do have some tips on how to set up your load. Oftentimes, I have brand new homeschoolers, meaning in the sense of brand new homeschoolers with us, who come to Florida Virtual School for the first time to take courses with us. And some of them may come from a public school setting or a private school setting. And they come with a mentality of, oh, in school, I was taking 6, 7 courses. You know what? I'm going to register for 6, 7 courses. At Florida Virtual School, we never advise our students to register for 6 or 7 courses all at once. Why? Because our courses are a lot more rigorous and more time-consuming than your traditional public school setting. A student will typically be studying for the course about 5 hours a week. And that depends on the student. Some students may need a little more time per course. So with that said, on this slide I'm showing you 2 sample schedules that we normally recommend for a homeschooler who is going to be doing all of their courses with us, who's going to be using Florida Virtual School as their primary curriculum provider, and not mixing between us and another curriculum. So here are 2 samples. The first one is the 3-on-3 course schedule. On the 3-on-3 course schedule, what we advise is for students to register for 3 courses at a time, maybe 2 or 3, not more than that. And what these students do is that they use the accelerated pace chart. You see, inside our courses, you're going to be given 2 pace charts to follow. A pace chart is basically all of your lessons listed out, and it says basically what lesson is due on what week. So typically on a traditional pace chart, a student will do maybe 2, 3 lessons a week, and you'll complete the whole course. And when I say a whole course, I'm talking about 2 semesters of the course in about 30, maybe 32 weeks. Okay? Now, on the accelerated pace chart, what the student does is that instead of submitting a minimum of 2, 3 lessons, the accelerated pace chart will guide you through the course by submitting extra lessons a week, and therefore, instead of completing the course in 32 weeks, you're going to complete it in much less time, maybe 20, 22 weeks, so half the time. So as you can see on the 3-on-3, this student has decided that he's going to work first on 3 courses, English, Math, and an elective. He's going to be following the accelerated pace chart, so he's basically going to be done with these 3 courses no later than December, maybe mid-January. Then in January, he'll start his next 3 courses, and he'll be working between January, May, no later than June, and they'll be done with 6 credits, 6 courses in a year. Now, homeschoolers, like I said, that are middle school, they don't necessarily have to do electives or anything like that. So maybe you'll do 2 on 2. Maybe just English, Math first, and then Science, History. So you see, you can play around with that. And then the other one is the 4 on 2. And basically what this does is that the student follows the traditional pace chart. They'll be completing all 4 core courses on a traditional pace, 32 weeks between August and May. And then in the summer, they'll pick up the elective. This is a very common schedule for middle schoolers. Because what they do is they work on their cores throughout the year, and then maybe they pick up that elective that I mentioned, that MJ Career Education. So this is a very common schedule for a middle school student who's homeschooled. This is the one that we always recommend our middle school student to do. So any of these would be great schedules. This is the most typical schedule for a middle schooler, and this is the other schedule where you'll be working on 2 courses, okay, and then 2 courses. So that's how you schedule yourself on the computer. But how about at home? See, we get a lot of questions about how do I set myself up at home? Because like I said a little bit ago, a lot of kids come with the mentality of the public school or the private schools where you do 50 minutes of one subject and then you do another 15 minutes of another subject and so forth. Well, you know what? In the online environment, that really doesn't work. What works is when you concentrate on 1 subject a day or maybe 2 subjects a day. So basically, here's the sample schedule. This is a schedule I love to discuss. Here, typically a student will be at home, and you're going to get up in the morning, and let's say by 9 a.m., I know that sounds early for some of us like me, 9 a.m., you'll be studying at your computer. You turn on your computer. Maybe you'll be working between 9 and noon. And you're going to concentrate on that one subject. So maybe you're going to concentrate on math. So you're going to work on math between 9 and 12. And then at noon, you're going to take a break and then go back to your math course in the afternoon and finish off whatever you still have left for that week. So basically what the student does is that they concentrate on either one subject or two subjects a day, and they follow usually this typical schedule at home. But let me show you what it looks like. Here, the student is actually scheduled himself with one subject a day. He's working on history on Mondays, language arts on Tuesdays, math on Wednesday, science on Thursday, and then either Friday is just a free open day, or maybe if the student has an elective, maybe they picked up that NJ career education class or that art class that we offer, they'll pick it up on a Friday. They'll work on it on Friday. So basically this student knows that on Mondays, you know what, that's my history day. Mondays, I'm not a really Monday person, and I don't like to do work on Monday. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick my favorite subject on Monday. So this student likes history. So he's going to work on history throughout the morning, and maybe his pace chart says that he has to turn in lessons, 1.5 or 1.6. Now, doing those two lessons of the week may take him all day to do. Because remember I said our courses are designed between 4 to 5 hours a week of study time. So you're going to be studying the whole day on those two lessons. But this student has concentrated on one subject, takes a lunch break, and then whatever he hasn't finished in the morning, you'll finish it off in the afternoon. The great thing about scheduling yourself with one subject a day, Jansen and Rachel, is that you can concentrate better. It helps you focus better. Instead of jumping around and maybe never finishing anything, you'll be focused on one thing and concentrate on that one thing. And by the end of the day, you know that you have turned in everything you need to turn in that week. So this is a sample schedule of one subject a day. All right. Well, let's say that maybe, math is not a really strong subject for you, and you really can't see yourself working on 4 or 5 math lessons in one whole day, like this student. Well, this student decided he's going to focus on 2 subjects a day. But notice what he does. Again, history, sample. Okay, this is just a sample. You don't have to do it just like this. History, his favorite subject. He's going to do it on Monday. He's going to work on that in the morning, and he's going to make sure that by noon he's pretty much turned it in. So then takes a lunch break, and then in the afternoon he does one math lesson. And then on Tuesday, works on language arts, does his language arts work of the week throughout the morning, and then in the afternoon turns in one math lesson. So you see the pattern? What the student is doing, he's spreading the math across the week. For him, his weakest subject was math, and he just couldn't handle, working on math all day. So the student spread the math throughout the week, so it's not all clumped up in one day. But maybe your favorite subject, maybe you're not, math isn't your weak subject. Maybe it's history. Well, you know what? You can do the same thing with history. Spread it out throughout the week. Or maybe it's science. Spread it out throughout the week. The point here is, you set up your schedule with 2 subjects a day, and your second subject is the one you're going to spread out throughout the week. This is a very good schedule, especially when you have a course that requires a lot of time out of you. Maybe you are taking that advanced history class, or maybe you're on the rigorous track and you're already taking a high school credit course like earth-based science or Spanish, or maybe you're taking that Algebra 1 or geometry course. This is a great subject schedule to follow when you need to spread a course across the week, because you can't handle all of the work on that one day. So again, you're still concentrated on one subject a day. You have that focus, but you spread out that rigorous subject across the week. Cool. All right, well, let's talk about the last thing on our schedule here, and I mentioned about socialization. I get a lot of questions from parents about how do I get my homeschooler to socialize? Do you guys offer any opportunities to reach out and talk to other students in the school? Well, you know what? Yes, we do. Florida Virtual School has some phenomenal, and when I say phenomenal, I really do mean it. I'm not saying it because I work here. I'm saying it because I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've talked to the kids who participate in it. We have a whole slew of clubs here at Florida Virtual School. Here are just some of the pictures giving you examples of the clubs that we have. Let me see if I remember all of them. We have the Model UN Club. That's easy to remember. FBLA. We do have a National History Club. Did you know that we have a club that's tied up to the National Club? This one is the Latin Club for all of our high school students or even middle school students who are taking Latin. Maybe you love science. Well, you know what? We have a great science club. We have student ambassadors. These student ambassadors are veteran SLVS students, be it middle school or high school students. These are students who have already been with Florida Virtual School for a little while, and they join the Student Ambassador Club, and they actually help out with us. A lot of times we're doing webinars, and you'll see one of the student ambassadors in our webinars manning the chat box for us. They participate in a lot of things. The English Honor Society for our high school students. Newspaper Club. How many of you guys like to read newspapers or blogs or write in a blog? I know that's very popular with our middle schoolers. So maybe you want to join the newspaper club and then the international club. These are great clubs that you can participate. You'll be talking to other kids. You'll be communicating with other kids. It's Martin, if you can find me the link of the clubs and maybe put it in there in the chat box so that they can go ahead and visit our website with all of the clubs, I'd appreciate that. So these are just samples of all of the clubs that we have, and every year we try to add one more, so always keep a lookout. But it's a great way for you to socialize. I always get that question for parents, especially brand new homeschoolers who are coming from the public school. I worry about that. But you know what? We have an avenue for your kids to communicate with other kids. So this is a great way to do it. Another way that you can do it, and I don't have the slide up there, is maybe reach out to local support groups in your area. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to type in there a link, FPEA.com. FPEA.com is a parent organization throughout the state of Florida, and at their website they can connect you with other support groups in your area. So if you're looking for socialization, our student club is a phenomenal way to start. And then if you want some local face-to-face to reach out with other homeschoolers, not necessarily Florida Virtual, but with any homeschoolers in your city, FPEA.com is a great way. Rachel, you're asking, do we ever meet in person? Well, Rachel, I'm glad you asked that. It's not frequent, but at least once or twice a year, we have what is called Barnes & Noble events. And I think we have one coming up soon. It should be posted on our website soon, where you'll be able to go to maybe a nearby Barnes & Noble and meet some teachers. If you don't have any questions, well, feel free to chime out. I do thank you for joining us this evening, and we hope to keep serving you and your students anytime. And remember, if you have any questions, you need any guidance, any help figuring out what course specifically for your child, please feel free to give us a call at 407-513-3587, 407-513-SLVS, or you can email us at info@slvs.net, and it will definitely route your email to the appropriate counselor for your county. What I'm going to do, I'm also going to put up here the slide. It shows you all of the names of our school counselors, and this wonderful Florida map has the counties all colored in for you. So if you find the district that you live in, the county you live in, you can connect with the appropriate guidance counselor.